You ever notice how some people can sit in complete silence and feel perfectly fine, while others fill every quiet moment with words? Maybe you're at a family gathering, everyone's talking about the weather or weekend plans, and you're just sitting there not saying much. Not because you're rude or uncomfortable, just because the conversation feels empty. Let's talk about what psychology says about people like you. 1. Your brain filters for depth, not noise. According to cognitive psychology, people who avoid small talk have what's called high need for cognition. This means your brain naturally craves meaningful thinking over surface level exchange. When someone asks, "How's your day?" without really wanting to know, your mind picks up on the mismatch. It feels fake, and fake interactions drain your mental energy faster than silence ever could. What looks like quietness to others is actually your brain protecting its resources for conversations that matter. 2. Silence recharges you in ways talking never can. Psychology calls this introvert restoration. Your nervous system processes social interaction differently. While extroverts gain energy from chatting and laughing, your brain uses that same energy just to stay engaged. Every "how are you?" or "busy week" pulls from your mental battery. But silence lets your brain reset. It's not antisocial behavior, it's self-regulation. Your mind knows exactly what it needs to stay clear and focused. 3. You're a selective connector. In social psychology, there's a concept called social selectivity theory. It explains why some people value quality over quantity in relationships. You don't need 10 surface friends. You need 2 or 3 people who actually understand you. When you stay quiet in groups, you're not being cold. You're saving your emotional energy for connections that feel real. You'd rather have one deep conversation than 20 shallow ones. That's not rudeness. That's emotional intelligence. 4. Your mind does its best work in quiet. Psychologists link preference for silence to something called high introspective ability. This is the skill to observe your own thoughts without constant distraction. While others talk to process, you think to understand. In those quiet moments, your brain is solving problems, connecting ideas, and processing emotions most people completely miss. Studies show that people who spend regular time in silence have stronger self-awareness and make better decisions. Your silence isn't emptiness, it's where clarity lives. 5. Small talk feels like performance to you. Social psychologists call this authenticity bias. You have a built-in radar for genuine versus scripted behavior. When someone says, "Great weather, huh?" just to avoid silence, your brain recognizes the disconnect between their words and their actual interest. It feels exhausting to mirror that energy. So you don't. Not because you're judging them, but because wearing a social mask just to fit in goes against how you're wired. That kind of honesty takes strength most people never develop. The trait behind it all? You're what psychology calls a deep processor. People who prefer silence over small talk don't think in quick reactions. They think in layers. They feel in nuance. They observe what others scroll past. You don't just hear words, you analyze tone, intention, and meaning. You don't just see people, you sense their energy. This depth makes shallow conversation feel like noise. And honestly, that's perfectly fine. The world needs people who listen more than they speak, who think before they react, who choose meaning over momentum. Society often calls quiet people awkward, standoffish, or boring, but psychology tells a different story. Your preference for silence isn't a weakness, it's a filter. It protects your energy, sharpens your awareness, and keeps your relationships genuine. You're not missing out by staying quiet. You're honoring how your brain works best. So don't force yourself into conversations that feel hollow. Don't apologize for needing silence. Own it. The right people will value the depth you bring when you actually do speak. If this felt familiar, the next video might help you understand even more about how your mind works. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. You're not alone in this.